Well. What do we have here? Over on Reuters, Fraudstown Motors files for bankruptcy and then sues Foxconn. By the way, a few people are a little bit curious. Why do I call Lordstown Fraudstown? The reason I call Lordstown Fraudstown is because of fraudulent statements made to investors about legitimate pre-orders and reservations, X amount of revenue, that turned out to not be very legitimate. I covered this in detail on YouTube, so just to be clear, because I've seen a few people asking recently, wait, why does he call them Fraudstown? I don't understand. To be clear, companies that do commit fraud can still produce real products, real prototypes, and actually produce vehicles at volume as well. These are two separate things. Let's read about Fraudstown Motors filing for bankruptcy as I predicted they would do a couple of years ago, and you are welcome to fact check me on that. Fraudstown Motors filed for bankruptcy protection on Tuesday and put itself up for sale after the US electric truck manufacturer failed to resolve a dispute over a promised investment from Taiwan company Foxconn. Fraudstown, named after the Ohio town where it is based, filed for Chapter 11 protection in Delaware and simultaneously took legal action against Foxconn. It's all Foxconn's fault that we went bankrupt. By the way, it's not. Foxconn are like, we're not going to throw any more money at this fucking burning dumpster fire. Fuck that. Let's read on. In a complaint filed in bankruptcy court, Fraudstown accused the electronics company of fraudulent Oh, geez. Pot calling the kettle black here. Holy f*** again. Please go check the old videos I posted on YouTube maybe 2 or so years ago. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Oh, this is just hilarious. Of fraudulent conduct and a series of broken promises in failing to abide by an agreement to invest up to $170 million in the electric vehicle manufacturer. Foxconn previously invested about $52.7 million in Fraudstown as part of the agreement and currently holds a roughly 8.4% ownership stake in the now soon-to-be entirely worthless EV maker. Lordstown contends Foxconn is balking at purchasing additional shares of its stock as promised. Geez, I wonder why. Titanic's currently sinking. The captain's like, "Oi, get the fuck off the life raft. Get back on the boat. That's part of our arrangement. Get the fuck back on the Titanic." So I can understand where Foxconn are coming from here. And misled the EV maker about collaborating on vehicle development plans. Foxconn, formerly called Hon High Precision Industry, and best known for assembling Apple's iPhones, has said Fraudstown breached the investment agreement when the automaker's stock fell below $1 per share. Foxconn did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The twin filings of the bankruptcy and lawsuits set up an international business clash that could intensify scrutiny of Foxconn's EV ambitions and partnerships, not only with Fraudstown, but also other automakers. The lawsuit portrays Foxconn as consistently shifting goalposts in its collaboration with Fraudstown on the automaker's future vehicles, which included failing to meet funding commitments and refusing to engage with the company on initiatives Foxconn allegedly directed and purported to support. Lordstown, a startup launched in 2018, said in a regulatory filing earlier this month that it had planned to sue Foxconn after receiving a letter from the company that led Lordstown to believe Foxconn was unlikely to make its additional expected investment. Again, I refer to the captain of the Titanic yelling at Foxconn to get off the life raft and get back on board the Titanic. I don't think Foxconn signed up to be at the bottom of the ocean when they made this agreement, just saying. Lordstown accused Foxconn in that regulatory filing of engaging in a, quote, pattern of bad faith that caused, quote, material and irreparable harm to the company. Now, just between you and I, given the fact that some dickhead on the internet with 3 first names predicted a couple of years ago that Fraudstown would go bankrupt, before Foxconn said no more money for you motherfuckers, I'm not so sure that this is really going to hold up. I understand Fraudstown not wanting to take responsibility and trying to point the finger and blame another company, another entity, but the wheels in motion of their inevitable bankruptcy have been turning for years. Even in May, Lordstown warned it might be forced to file for bankruptcy amid uncertainty over the Foxconn investment. The automaker's main product is the Endurance electric pickup truck, which is built at former General Motors small car factory in Fraudstown for commercial customers such as local governments. Fraudstown sold the plant to Foxconn in 2022. Fraudstown paused production of the Endurance earlier this year, and since April has resumed building the trucks at a low rate after resolving quality issues with suppliers. The automaker's shares have plunged since February and are currently trading under $3. Some context, there was a point in time, September 2020, where Fraudstown Motors stock closed at $435 per share. I did not misspeak. $435 per share. Now it's under $3 per share. Peak to trough decline of 99.365%. And literally every single quote investor who bought this dumpster fire of a stock got what they deserved. This was peak insanity. I called it out at the time. Fraudstown specifically. Hopefully some gamblers who thought they were investors have learned a lesson, although this remains to be seen. Should Lordstown fail to find a rescuer willing to restart full production of the Endurance, by the way, I don't think there's any person, company or organisation, maybe a government though, but other than a government, that is that insane. The Ohio factory, now owned by Foxconn, could be a draw for overseas automakers looking for a quick way to build vehicles in the US. It is theoretically possible, buying a factory at a fire sale price, but the amount of retooling and rejigging, much better to just start with a clean slate, assuming you can get the capital to actually finance the build of a brand new factory. Due to the insane excitement around EVs, I'm pretty sure most EV startups, Chinese automakers, everybody, if they want to raise capital to build a factory in the US, they'll be able to do it. They're not going to need to buy one that's on fire, so to speak, and have to retool, rejig, refit it out. You never know though. Lordstown filed for bankruptcy with plans to seek a buyer. It does not have an initial offer in hand. Known in bankruptcy parlance as a stalking horse bidder, never heard that before, which sets a minimum price other suitors can top in an auction. In a real estate auction, at least in Australia, we would call that a reserve price. Lordstown Chief Executive Edward Hightower told Reuters the endurance business could prove attractive to another automaker looking for a fast entry into the EV market at a time the Biden administration's policies are attempting to move away from gasoline-powered cars. By the way, for those who don't know, this is actually how Tesla acquired their first factory in Fremont, previously the Numi factory. They literally bought it for about 1% of its prior value. A penny on the dollar. This was a big brain move by Tesla coming out of the global financial crisis. They got a great asset for a bargain price, didn't have to outlay any capital in real terms or some fucking steel, but they now have an extremely inefficient factory. The efficiencies in Shanghai and now the new factories Berlin and Austin running circles, especially Shanghai. We saw how much more profitable and efficient the vehicles coming out of Shanghai were, primarily because Tesla had a clean slate and designed the factory how they'd like it to be, as opposed to a pre-designed clusterfuck that they kind of made do with. Lordstown's bankruptcy is not the first among the crop of EV startups that went public during the scamdemic era SPAC boom. It won't be the last either. But Lordstown was a high-profile member of that class because it was challenging the core of the legacy Detroit automakers' business of high-margin pickup trucks and because of its location. The Lordstown factory in northeast Ohio was formerly a GM small car factory. The government motors decided to close in November 2018. Then US President Donald Trump, this was funny, Trump actually went out to see this factory and I'm like, bro, this is not going to age well. By the way, I get it. He was going to his voter base in Ohio. Look, jobs, manufacturing, I care, blah, blah, blah. But it was funny at the time. I'm seeing him meeting outside the factory in front of the truck and I'm thinking, these guys are going to be bankrupt soon, bro. Not a good look. President Donald Trump and other Ohio political leaders put pressure on GM CEO Mary Biaspara to reverse the decision or find a buyer. GM agreed to sell the plant to a newly formed entity called Fraudstown Motors. You did it, Mary, by the former top executive at an electric truck maker called Workhorse Group. Fraudstown went public in October 2020 through a reverse merger with a special purpose acquisition company, SPAC, Diamond Peak Holdings, joining a flock of EV startups that went public through such deals in that period, preying on one very far end of the bell curve. Just the facts. Like several others, including truck maker Nikola, Fraudstown has struggled to live up to the high expectations of early gamblers who thought they were investors. In 2021, its chief executive and founder, Stephen Burns, resigned after the automaker acknowledged it had overstated pre-orders for its electric truck, aka committed fraud. Fraudstown's finance chief at the time also resigned. How curious. Burns has since sold his entire stake in Fraudstown, according to a June regulatory filing. As Fraudstown wrestled during 2021 and 2022 with investigations by regulators and the US Justice Department, Ford was launching its electric F-150 Lightning pickup truck, aiming at commercial customers. EV startup Rivian launched its luxury electric pickup in 2022. GM and Stellantis have announced plans, lots of plans, for electric pickups. Elon Musk's Tesla has promised it will begin producing its Cybertruck later this year. Fraudstown struggled to ramp up production of its endurance trucks over the past several months. I wonder why. Something production is really fucking easy and anyone could do it. I think that's how it goes, isn't it? I wonder why they struggled with production. I thought it was really easy. Amid the dispute with Foxconn, challenging market conditions and the cost-intensive nature of its business, the company has said. If we translate that, I think they said production is hard and really fucking expensive. The few trucks the company has assembled had material costs that were, quote, substantially higher than our selling price, Lordstown said in a May regulatory filing. So, thus ends another episode of I Told You So. Won't be the last one. Over and out. Athletic Greens AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. Athletic Greens AG1 is an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also, AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a fuck ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. Certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point. It's something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy, wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1 shit, is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it, you'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, Snake Oil Salmon's sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, when I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. And remember, there is a 90-day money-back guarantee. There's nothing to lose here. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links in the pinned comment. See you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.